Welcome back to Fantasy Sports Today here on SportsGrid as we take a look at many of the different options and props going into the Super Bowl on Sunday. Those of you who have not yet placed your bets or looking at a way to get involved in the game, fantasy or sports betting, we're here to help you. This hour of the show, Craig Mish, Joe Pisapia, and George Kurtz taking you up for the next hour, getting you ready for the big game. So, gentlemen, we let's get into the wide receiver position here. There's been one unstoppable force that I think is in this game, and George is pretty vociferous on this one, meaning he's pretty strong on this one, that he thinks that in order for New England to win, you got to stop this guy, Jackson Smith and Jigba. But George, we've seen this story so many times before. Like the best, they just get theirs regardless. You could say that for years. I'm not saying that Amon-Ra St. Brown is a Hall of Famer or anything like that, but there's no stopping Amon-Ra St. Brown no matter what teams do against him. There's been no stopping Puka Nacua no matter what teams do against him. So what makes you think that any team can stop this guy? It just seems to me that they may not be able to. Now, again, his prop is sitting at as high as a total as you're ever going to see in a Super Bowl. I think is it 93 and a half, something like that. So super high number here, George. Let's break it down.
91 and a half currently on FanDuel in New York here. I don't think they need to stop him. You just can't let him go wild. All right? You probably can't stop him. He's one of the best wide receivers in the NFL. But I'm curious to see what the New England does. Do you just put, hey, Gonzalez on him? We're going to go our best against your best. Do you bracket him and put Gonzalez on somebody else? Take away two people? I am one thing I always respected about Bill Belichick is that he wanted to take away the other team's best weapon, force you to do something else. I love that. Get them out of their comfort zone a little bit. I said, I don't think you can stop JSN, but I think you can keep it in check. I do. I like the under on this, by the way. I don't think he's going to have a monster game. I just don't. And by the way, if he does, then Joe Pisapia is going to be very unhappy in about 12 and a half hours. Because I don't see any way New England wins this game if JSN's got 7 catches, 118 yards, 2 touchdowns. That's over. I think that's over. It just didn't work out here. I think they keep him in check here. I do. I think New England's defense is good enough to keep JSN in check.
What do you got, Joe?
I agree 100% with George. If this goes over the 100 mark, chances are Seattle's winning this game. I don't see a scenario where you get JSN having 120 yards receiving and a touchdown here and the Patriots somehow finding a way to win. I don't think that's going to be the case. So the way we correlated Ramondre Stevenson's over to a Patriots win, I think the same thing. If you think Seattle's winning, then you probably want to take the over 93.5. Now, the one thing, though, with JSN and this team that you were mentioning with Puka Nacua and Amon-Ra St. Brown, those guys work in tandems, right? Jameson Williams, big play wide receiver, right? You got to account for him at all times on the field. Devontae Adams, Hall of Famer, you got to account for him at all times on the field. Where's that other guy for Seattle? It doesn't exist. So don't tell me Cooper Kupp. Don't tell me Rashid Shaheed. Rashid Shaheed, look, he's a big play guy. He can make some big moments, but he's not the same kind of player as Devontae Adams is. So I think that's what allows Puka Nacua to be a guy that's really just unstoppable in so many of these games because you just can't afford defensively to let Devontae Adams out loose. And I think that's the one thing where it's a bit of an Achilles heel. If you slow down that run game and you have a good plan for JSN, it's the secondary guys. It's the A.J. Barners at tight end. It's maybe a Jake Bobo or somebody like that's going to get involved. Like you're going to see some other guys try to get some targets in this game here. But I don't know if it's going to be Christian Gonzalez just completely shadowing him the entire game or not. I don't think any of us know for sure. They will have a plan for JSN, and if he goes under this number, I do think it's going to be closer. I'm staying away from it because I think it's a really good number. But if you like Seattle in this game, then you have to like JSN on the over because that's their path to victory.
Okay, so now let's go to the New England side of the ball. There isn't a receiver, Joe, that has a prop of 50 going into this game. That's rare
Nope.
to enter a Super Bowl that doesn't have anyone, not even a tight end. 43 and a half is the current number or close to it with Stephon Diggs, who 5 years ago we would have said would have blown through this. And truthfully, Diggs is going to catch some passes in this game, probably 3, 4, 5. But a lot of them have been, Joe, running out, turning around, catching the ball. And that's pretty much been the story with him this season. It's been some of the other players in New England who are catching the deeper balls. What do you make of this number?
I go back to the formula for the Patriots winning this game is playing defense and running the football and some opportunistic passing from Drake May. So therefore, again, I think this is kind of spot on. I think you're right. This feels like kind of a 4 or 5 catch game for Stephon Diggs, and probably this yardage total is going to be somewhere around 45 or so. So to me, this number is set too well. If you think Diggs just balls out, cool, that's fun. But I'm going to go stick with the opportunistic Patriots air attack and stick with them running the football, and Drake May running the football as well. That is the other element in this game I don't think we talk enough about, is his ability to pick up first downs and kind of third and longs all of a sudden break the back of a defense. That is an entity with Drake May. He's not Josh Allen run the football, but he's a lot better than people realize. And you look at this yardage total of him rushing the football this year, it's pretty impressive.
George?
Yeah, I'll piggyback Joe here. I agree. Really on the Drake May stuff as well. We haven't talked about his rushing ability all that much. I'm playing in some kind of survivor pool today against certain people here, and I had a choice: May, Donald. And I may have gone with May because of the rushing, right? He's going to get he's going to run the ball. We know that. He's very good at it. So I expect that to happen here. I'm going to talk about a play we haven't talked about. His numbers come way up for what it was earlier in the week. And that's Keyshawn Butte. All right, I'm on his over here. I think I got it in the mid to late 20s. It's gone way up here, the 31.5 right now. But I think he's going to be a player in this. I do. Kind of like Mac Hollins as well here. Another guy, 24.5. I'm on him as well here as to get their overs. Just they're low totals here. What do we need? 2 catches to get this? So, yeah, I'm taking both these guys to get their overs here. So 2 of my favorite props, by the way, for Butte and Hollins. I like Hunter Henry as well. More of an anytime touchdown guy for him to get to the end zone. Once again, security blanket, tight end for the quarterback here. I want to take his prop for 3.5 as receptions as well, but I haven't pulled the trigger on that one. But Craig, we may get prop number 28 before the end of the show on that.
Could be. We'll hit 30. We got over under on your props, I think, alone in this game. Okay, Joe, back to you here for Cooper Kupp, who it was a complete non-factor for this team for 95% of the season. All of a sudden, starting to find it a little bit here. He caught a touchdown. Seems to be getting a little bit more targets. Maybe it's the experience of playing in these big games. Probably fair to say that if this game is not Cooper Kupp's last game, he'll play his last game, I think, next year. I think his career is coming to an end. 32.5 is his number going into Sunday night.
Yeah, again, this is another one where I think I'm going with the under here on this one. Cooper Kupp also had a lot to prove against his former team, the Rams, I think, in that last game. So let's not overrate too much of what we see in the playoffs from situations like that. I am where George is, though, on Hunter Henry. Now, that is an interesting one to me because I think you could see in terms of moving the chains through the air, Hunter Henry being more of that safety blanket guy, lower pass rating in terms of turning over the football. We're looking at 38.5 for that number. Hunter Henry, to me, is that guy that I think could be that medium passer guy that's going to be involved quite a bit. I like the anytime touchdown for him as well. I know we're going to talk about those guys as well as we get later into the show, but I could see a lot of Ramondre, a lot of Hunter Henry. And then to George's point, I think you look for the Mac Hollins, you look for the Keyshawn Booties, you look for the lower numbers you can get and hope for that one big play. And some of these receivers too, the good bet is to bet the over on their biggest receiving total on a single play. Because Keyshawn Bootie's done that a bunch of times this year. So those guys are a little bit all or nothing, but when they hit, it's usually a big play in a big moment. I think Rashid Shaheed's kind of that same guy. So I would stay away from Kupp. If anything, I go in the under, but Hunter Henry is a guy that I think has a lot of appeal in this game, especially the way you want to attack that secondary and that linebacker group of the Seattle Seahawks.
Yeah, and George, the tight end that we're used to betting here in the Super Bowl with all of these overs is Travis Kelce. And he would seem to hit them through the years too. No big tight end in this game. What do you make of this number, George? Henry, 38.5.
I think it's a pretty good number, so I'm having a hard time with it. Even though I think he's going to get the ball thrown his way, I do. So I want to take it. Haven't pulled the trigger on that yet. One player, by the way, we haven't talked about, Shaheed, 21.5. He catches the balls going over this because they're going to go deep shots to him. It's really that simple here. So if you think he's going to catch a ball, you might want to go there. And this question keeps going through my head, guys. If we think JSN's going to be kept in check, who else is stepping up in Seattle? Someone else has to be that guy. Someone has to be that guy for that Seattle wide receiving core to win this game. Is it Kupp? Is it, I don't know, Jake Bobo, who's at a half? Gonna have to take his prop too. Already did.
All right, let's take a quick break. We'll be back with more after this.
Heads or tails? Over or under? Seahawks, Patriots. Don't stress. SportsGrid breaks it all down.
They are locks. We can capitalize. We're going to see a ton of over money.
Props, expert guests, and smart insight leading up to the big game.
Oh my God, if Sam Darnold wins the Super Bowl.
Only on SportsGrid.
They actually play Miami and nobody else. Bum after bum after bum. Now, the key ingredient to this clause, though, Joe, college football undefeated season. Ooh, no, wait, Donnie. You go undefeated in the regular season, you got to win like 4 games to win that championship. No, you don't. It's regular season. Notre Dame, the kings of duck, and saying, hey, we're going to play the easiest schedule ever. They got it.
The early line. Only on SportsGrid.
The money line keeps climbing, though, if you'll notice.
Yes.
The point spread hasn't moved. It's been locked in at 4.5. The money line, though, keeps creeping up, man. It was 210, and it's funny because normally you figure the number would be correlated, right? It's like, all right, the money line, the point spread's this, that means the money line is that, which tells us there's a lot of money line plays coming in on Seattle.
In-game live, only on SportsGrid.
He completed a pool bank shot at just 2 years and 302 days. His achievements make him one of the youngest double record holders ever. So let me summarize this for you without reading. He's 2 years old, and he's really good at pool. I mean, that is crazy. 2 years old! How is he doing this? I have no idea. So I guess we got to start training our youngsters to play pool. Okay, fair enough.
Newswire, only on SportsGrid.
All right, welcome back to Fantasy Sports Today here on Sports Grid. We're going to take a look at some intriguing, fun props here. We wouldn't have a fantasy show, a Super Bowl show without them. So George Kurtz, Joe Pisapia, and me, Craig Mish. Let's take a look at some of them here. And we'll start off with, guys, this one here. Sorry, I got to pull up my trusty grid here for the show. Each team to score, got to get it right on this. Each team to score 1+ touchdown and 1+ field goal in each half. Each team to score 1+ touchdown, 1+ field goal in each half, Joe. So that's 14-1. Doesn't seem completely unreasonable, but it seems more reasonable for me in a game next year. Like, I don't know. Like, I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know that.
No,
I don't
you're
know
right.
that. Yeah, I don't know that. I'm thinking it through. I was like, is this the game to do this with? I don't know that I feel that way.
Well, that's why I cherry picked this one, because I thought it's one of those ones where you look at it and go, well, that seems super reasonable. And look at this return, it's plus 1,400. But then if you realize, sometimes it's all just touchdowns. Sometimes it's all just field goals. You need everybody to get a little of everything, and it's a little bit trickier. I'm not saying it's impossible. I don't think it is. Yeah. But I think if you're talking about 2 higher flying offenses without so much defense in this game, a little bit more opportunistic. So I think this is a bit of a trap. Now, George, I don't know what you think of this one. Maybe you see it differently, but on its face, I'm kind of where Craig is on it, where you look at it and go, well, that seems like a very reasonable thing. Can each team get a 7 and a 3 in the first half and the second half? Sure. But somebody could possibly get shut out for one of these quarters, and it becomes a little tricky. Maybe it's a 10-7 at the half, and all of a sudden 10-7 at the half. Guess what? No good. You've already missed this bet. George, what do you think of this one?
It's kind of a sucker bet, because it sounds, oh yeah, that's doable. That should even happen. If I thought it was going to be a higher scoring game, 2 high flying offenses, absolutely, I would take a shot at this, right? See what happens. But no, I'm not playing this. And, I have a lot of them, but no, this ain't one of them. I think you'll probably get close. You'll probably be scrambling for that touchdown or the field goal in the second half because you got everything else here. So I don't mind it. Once again, it's a kind of bet where I throw $10-20 at it. Let's see what happens. Listen, I'm not saying I don't have some of these. There's some of these prop bets. I don't expect to win 27, 28 prop bets. Not going to happen. I have some fun on ones. That we'll see. But I want to play it for whatever reason here. This is not one of those bets, though. No, I don't think this will happen.
Okay, this one is a little bit more reasonable, gentlemen. We have Kenneth Walker and Ramondre Stevenson rushing for 5+ yards in each quarter. Ramondre Stevenson, Kenneth Walker, rushing for 5+ yards in each quarter. 1, 2, 3, and 4. Those two guys. George, I'll start with you on this one. This feels like there's a chance that this happens. The risk that you would run would be, I think, on the Stevenson side. I feel like Walker probably gets this, but on the Stevenson side, you just would have to be sure that he's the only running back getting extensive touches in the game. If you feel that way, I think that this is not a bad one. I know maybe you guys feel Henderson's involved. I don't. So I think that there's a much better chance for this.
I would agree. I think there's a much better chance of this one happening. There's no one else on Seattle. If Walker doesn't get this, and like, what's going on here? But then again, for all we know, New England's going to go on an 8-minute drive, right? And that could hurt some things. Or the game's a blowout. What if it is a blowout the second half? They're not running the ball anymore. So that's where you're playing into this. So I don't love this. It's another one I have not played, and I rarely play things like this. Rarely, because it seems like they don't win during the season. Super Bowl, I guess, could be a little different, but I think it'd be a little different worse. It's not recent history, but a lot of Super Bowls have been blowouts. Things go wrong, and they start to snowball, and here we go. All of a sudden, New England's up 31-3 because Sam Darnold is throwing 17 interceptions here, and they're not running the ball with Kenneth Walker. They got to keep throwing the ball. So there is always a chance for that to happen here. It's a fun bet. And it on its surface, it looks like it could happen, Joe. I can't pull the trigger.
Yeah, I think this is another one where it's more tempting. Again, the logic is very good. Both these running backs clearly kind of being the lead guys in their backfield, especially Ken Walker at this stage, with the way the makeup is from injuries from the backfield of the Seattle Seahawks. But to George's point, something he touched on, what if there is a long drive from one of these teams and then the next team comes out, has a 3-and-out, and turns the ball back over? That basically kills this opportunity, right? So that gets really dicey. It could get dicey in the fourth quarter too, depending on the game script of what's going on and what the total is. So 5-1, a really big return, a really small number, just 5 yards. That's all you got to get. It's just 5 yards. To me, that's how they get you. I would stay away from this one as well. But on its face, I think it's one of those that looks really just kind of feasible, just kind of logical too. We put out a lot of good logic about the running backs working in this game and how important they are. And you would imagine you want to get these guys 5 yards at least in each quarter. But that's not always the way the game of football works. And sometimes you have some weird moments and some weird things that I think might prevent this from happening. If anything, maybe you can get 7 of the 8 quarters, between these two guys, right, to actually work out between each player. But I think it's that one that you don't get. That's the one that's going to get you, unfortunately. Too much variance for me.
So another one would be ending on a 0, meaning a team doesn't score in a quarter, which is, I guess in this kind of game it is possible. Plus 260, a much more reasonable, Joe, wager here, I think. I do want to get to the final two real quick, but go ahead, let's do this one.
Yeah, look, it's much more reasonable, and I think much more feasible in the first quarter. So if you're looking for to really push this, it's the first quarter. Teams come out flat. They haven't played in 2 weeks. A lot of emotion. You're also standing there waiting for a million performances between America the Beautiful and the national anthem, and the guys get a little, kind of stiff out there, just kind of waiting to play. The defensive props, though, here, especially the New England one, plus 850 for the defense to score in New England. To me, this is the difference in that game. This is the script that I'm writing for this game of how New England wins. They get a turnover that ends up becoming a touchdown, a pick six, or a strip sack that ends up becoming a touchdown. And that, to me, is the difference in this game. So for me, I don't know, George, where you sit with some of these here with the scoreless quarter or potentially with one of these defenses scoring. Are you in on any of those?
I parrot what you said about the scoreless quarter. First quarter, if you think it's going to happen, I did not take it. But the first quarter would be the one I'd go for here. As far as the defensive touchdowns, told Craig on Friday, yeah, I'm on it. I'm on both. All right, just need one to hit to win money. Yeah. All right, it happens, right? Shahika, we've seen him. He can return a punt, return a kickoff there, get a interception return. I'm on both. Just give me one. I'm not going to be greedy.
Yeah, I mean, I think the point is that it's trending in the NFL. I mean, defensive touchdowns are happening a lot in the playoffs. And so why would you go against that? I think there's a chance we get that today. We'll be back with more fantasy sports today. Don't go away.
Heads or tails? Over or under? Seahawks, Patriots. Don't stress. SportsGrid breaks it all down.
They are locks. We can capitalize. We're going to see a ton of over money.
Props, expert guests, and smart insight leading up to the big game.
Oh my God, if Sam Darnold wins the Super Bowl.
Only on SportsGrid.
They actually play Miami and nobody else. Bum after bum after bum. Now, the key ingredient to this clause, though, Joe, college football undefeated season. Ooh, no, wait, Donnie. You're undefeated in the regular season. You got to win like 4 games to win that championship. No, you don't. It's regular season. Notre Dame, the kings of duck, and saying, hey, we're going to play the easiest schedule ever. They got it.
The early line. Only on SportsGrid.
The money line keeps climbing, though, if you'll notice.
Yes.
The point spread hasn't moved. It's been locked in at 4.5. The money line, though, keeps creeping up, man. It was 210, and it's funny because normally you figure the number would be correlated, right? It's like, all right, the money line, the point spread's this, that means the money line is that, which tells us there's a lot of money line plays coming in on Seattle.
In-game live, only on SportsGrid.
He completed a pool bank shot at just 2 years and 302 days. His achievements make him one of the youngest double record holders ever. So let me summarize this for you without reading. He's 2 years old, and he's really good at pool. I mean, that is crazy. 2 years old! How is he doing this? I have no idea. So I guess we got to start training our youngsters to play pool. Okay, fair enough.
Newswire, only on SportsGrid.
All right, welcome back to Fantasy Sports today here on SportsGrid. Craig Mish, Joe Pisapia, George Kurtz for the next 40 or so minutes. We got you covered. And then, of course, plenty of great programming leading you up to the big game later today. Guys, let's go through some anytime touchdowns here on the show. Boy, we got a lot of good options here this week. I don't see Jake Bobo listed there, but I know George has thrown a Mac Hollins out there. I wonder if he likes him at that number there. And I don't know. Where do you guys want to start here? You guys want to start with New England? Or you want to start with Seattle here?
Seattle. Let's start with the
Joe.
favorite.
I'll turn it over to you, Joe. Let's go with Seattle here. I think Shaheed is the one that we're talking about the most here. As you can see, he's got the longest odds of anyone here. My gosh, Jackson Smith and Jigba as a receiver is minus 110. You don't see that often.
Yeah, but I think it's one of the best bets you can make in this game. Jackson Smith and Jigba not getting a touchdown in this game. If that happens, it's going to be, as Dusty Rhodes liked to say back in the day, hard times. It's going to be hard times, Daddy, for the Seattle Seahawks in this game. You have to get JSN the football as much as you can. So him not scoring a touchdown would be surprising. I actually think A.J. Barner is a really interesting one too, especially the way they use him in the tush-push scenario, right? So at plus 240, I think that's a really good return on investment as well. If they get to the goal line area, you see them start to utilize him in that Wildcat sort of format. So I could see Barner being a guy too who has some touchdown equity. But JSN, look, it's only minus 110. It's a pretty good return on investment. It's a little bit of juice, not much. To me, that's the way you go. Ken Walker, on the other hand, forget it. That one's gone, done and dusted. If you want to bet him for first half touchdown, I think that's the only way you can bet Ken Walker. I don't know where, George, you see these touchdown calls here for Seattle, but to me, JSN and Barner are my two most appealing ones.
You stole mine. Might be Barner. Barner's the guy I wanted to talk about, right? The tight end here. I'm on him as well, plus 240. I like it. If you're going to take Shaheed, which I'm not against it. I have not done it. I'm on his longest reception. I'm on his yardage prop there. But you're hoping for the bomb, right? The fly pad, the post, whatever it might be that he gets loose there. I fully think that Seattle's going to take their shots. I think it's what you do in the NFL. Even if he's not successful, you want to put it in New England's head. Hey, they're willing to go over the top here. We got to make sure those safeties get off the line of scrimmage, give more room for Kenneth Walker there, that sort of thing here. So I don't mind the 360. I don't think it's a great price, by the way, which is why I'm not on it. But I do like Barner there. Someone's got to score, besides JSN here. I'm not taking Kenneth Walker either. I'm not playing 2-1 here. But I don't think it's going to be a game where Seattle gets 4 or 5 touchdowns. I think 3 is probably the max here, unless things get out of hand here. So it sort of limits down what I'm willing to do. But I do have Barner plus 240.
Yeah, I think that, for me, it's interesting. I'm trying to think back if I've ever hit one of those, like, first touchdowns or first touchdown scores, or and it reminds me of, I mean, this goes way back. I don't know how I bet this, but I definitely won when Brent Jones scored the first touchdown for the 49ers in a game. I don't remember how I did it. Yeah, I think it must have been amongst my family and friends that got together for the Super Bowl, because you couldn't bet it at that time. It was like the 80s or the 90s, but I think I hit Brent Jones. It's like coming to mind here. But anyway, okay, first touchdown anytime touchdown for New England. Now this is where it's a little bit, I would say, you can make some money on these if you can really find the right name here, because look at the bottom there. If Kayshon Boutte scores a long touchdown, you cash. If Mac Hollins is a big part of the program, you cash. If Henderson is even any part of the program, you make cash. George, you mentioned Hollins. Is this one of your bets, or is it just on yards for you?
It is more fun with the New England players, right? Because they seem to have more options of guys who might score touchdowns. It's just the way it is. I think Stevenson probably is going to get in the end zone. So, yeah, I do have Stevenson +1. It's plus money. You know, I'll take that here. I mentioned earlier in the show I'm on Hunter Henry. All right. I like the tight end to score touchdowns. I always do in these games. I'm not on Diggs. I kind of do like May, but I don't think the price is great here. Boutte and Hollins, I have their yardage props. You know, so do I want to double down on it? I do not have Trevion Henderson, by the way. As much as I think he has a better game, I don't think he's going to be, set loose. He could break a 62-yarder. It wouldn't shock me, but I don't think I'm going to bet on that either. I have not taken Boutte or Hollins to score a touchdown yet. I'm not saying I won't, but it's not one of those ones where I think I'm on the fence here, so I don't think I'm going to go that direction. I think I'll just keep their yardage props.
Joe, Patriots.
Yeah, we still got a couple hours for George Kurtz to continue to make a couple more bets, so I'm sure I'm pretty confident we're going to find a couple more there for George to get in on. I think the Drake May number actually is very good, almost 3-1 for Drake May. When we get down to that goal line area, he is one to run the ball in for a touchdown, and I would not be shocked to see him call his own number, because that was kind of the special sauce for them last week as well in some big moments, and all throughout the year too. Hunter Henry, I'm with George, +240. It's a really good return. That's probably the best return on investment on this board for the Patriots. The rest are kind of risky. You're throwing darts all over the place. They're nice returns. But Ramondre is the safest one, +145, and them just powering the football in with him. But Drake May at +280, to me, that's the best one on the board for the Patriots in terms of return on investment possibility.
We'll be right back.
Heads or tails? Over or under? Seahawks, Patriots. Don't stress. SportsGrid breaks it all down.
They are locks. We can capitalize. We're going to see a ton of over money.
Props, expert guests, and smart insight leading up to the big game.
Oh my God, if Sam Darnold wins the Super Bowl.
Only on SportsGrid.
They actually play Miami and nobody else. Bum after bum after bum. Now, the key ingredient to this clause, though, Joe, college football undefeated season. Ooh, no, wait, Donnie. You're undefeated in the regular season. You got to win like 4 games to win that championship. No, you don't. It's regular season. Notre Dame, the kings of duck, and saying, hey, we're going to play the easiest schedule ever. They got it.
The early line. Only on SportsGrid.
The money line keeps climbing, though, if you'll notice.
Yes.
The point spread hasn't moved. It's been locked in at 4.5. The money line, though, keeps creeping up, man. It was 210, and it's funny because normally you figure the number would be correlated, right? It's like, all right, the money line, the point spread's this, that means the money line is that, which tells us there's a lot of money line plays coming in on Seattle.
In-game live, only on SportsGrid.
He completed a pool bank shot at just 2 years and 302 days. His achievements make him one of the youngest double record holders ever. So let me summarize this for you without reading. He's 2 years old, and he's really good at pool. I mean, that is crazy. 2 years old! How is he doing this? I have no idea. So I guess we got to start training our youngsters to play pool. Okay, fair enough.
Newswire, only on SportsGrid.
Welcome back to Fantasy Sports today here on SportsGrid. Defense has been the story for both the Patriots and the Seahawks as we head to the Super Bowl. Craig Mish, Joe Pisapia, and George Kurtz back with you here on this edition of Fantasy Sports Today, Super Bowl edition, leading you up until the big game. And really, Joe, when you think about it, that's kind of been the narrative, and it's played true. Yes, the teams have done enough on offense, but as you can see, both Seattle and New England are not allowing teams to score. And you get to this time of the year and you play good defense, and as they say, you generally win games. And if styles make fights, that's sort of what we're leaning toward here. If you want to rewind our show back to an hour and 33 minutes ago, we opened up and Joe's like, look, I want New England to win. I think they could win, but I really don't think this is going to be a great game. I think there's going to be a lot of low-scoring opportunities here, field goals, not a lot of yards. And certainly every number indicates that here.
Yeah, and that's the whole point, too. I'm trying to bring this into the number conversation here because I think it's very important. Everybody's been talking about the Seattle Seahawks defense, and nobody's talking about the Patriots defense. The Patriots defense has given up 26 points in the playoffs so far, and the Seattle Seahawks gave up 27 to the Rams in the NFC Championship game. So what are we doing here? Like, why are we constantly on one narrative? It just gets very tired, and I think once again, it plays into the strength of this underdog mentality that the Patriots have, which I think is incredibly dangerous because the Patriots defense, from the secondary standpoint, personnel-wise, very good. Up front, very good. Chason is playing his best football of his career lately in this stretch run. So they are a very dangerous unit. They create turnovers, right? We know that. They are very ball hawkish. I think there's going to be a turnover here that's going to be the difference in this game, whether it's a pick six, a strip sack, fumble, something to that nature. That, to me, is going to be the difference in the score and this game because I do think points are going to be hard to come by. And I'm giving credit to the Seattle defense. They're an excellent unit. But, let's talk about, like, the tests of the Seattle defense. The one test that they've really had all year, and don't tell me the 49ers, everybody. I don't want to hear that because this team is built to beat the 49ers, and all they've done since Mike McDonald's been there is kick the crap out of the 49ers, right? It's the Rams. And the Rams put up points on them all the time. The Tennessee Titans, the Max Brosmer Vikings, the Daniel Jones-less Indianapolis Colts, the Atlanta Falcons, with God knows who's playing quarterback in that game when they play. Like, they just are not playing a lot of teams with great offenses. And I don't think the Patriots are a great offense either necessarily. But I do think this defense is very good, and I think it is going to play to the total on the underside of this game. And I think it's that one unit that, again, every single week, they talked about the Denver Broncos, they talked about the Houston Texans, they talked about the Los Angeles Chargers. Nobody talks about the defense of the Patriots, and I just think people are straight up wrong about it.
Yeah, I mean, we'll see, George, but I mean, that's what makes this game tough because George just alluded to the fact that he doesn't like to watch an under. But it does seem like a lot of the data, George, does point to a lot of unders in the game. So it makes it a little more dangerous. You see how many points, especially there, both teams are not allowing, less, looks like about 18 to 20 points, not even a game. So, George, the total's 45.5. I mean, you have to really pick through some of these props in order to make sure that you're not getting crushed.
Yeah, that's what's probably part of the reason why this Super Bowl doesn't feel as hyped as other Super Bowls because we do expect a lower scoring game. We do. Listen, would it shock any of us if at the end of the night, hey, this team won 17-13? Probably not. I think there we go. Okay. So a little lower than I thought, but I'm not surprised by that. It could be a defensive, I was going to say a defensive shootout. Doesn't know if that makes any sense there, but it could be a defensive game here. It wouldn't be the biggest surprise. These stats they show you, by the way, always, I don't care. Seattle's 6 on the last 8 games. New England, did they play the same schedule? No, then I don't care. All right, that's good for them. It depends on who you played during that time. Joe's right. You look at the numbers against the Rams. Seattle's defense is terrible. They can't stop them to save their life here. Then again, I don't know if a lot of teams could stop the Rams offense. Pretty good offense there. Well, I don't think Seattle's defense is great. I might disagree with Joe as far as no one's talking about the New England defense. I don't think I've seen that. I don't think even defense is great. I don't. We're not talking about the 86 Bears here, the 2000 Ravens. We're not. They're both good defenses. I think there is some strategic things that I want to see in this game. I mentioned earlier in the show. I want to know what Gonzalez is doing. Is he going to be on JS? Is he following him everywhere? Or is he going to stick to his side? How are they going to play that? I do expect Seattle to, once again, quick throws to Kenneth Walker in the beginning of the game. It's why I like his reception prop to get the quarterback into the groove here. If Seattle's blitzing, I think that's very bad for Seattle. It means they're being taken out of their game, that New England's done something to make them uncomfortable. and that they've changed their game plan. They're not a blitzing team here. So I look forward to seeing a lot of this stuff here. I bet the over, I'll say it again, only goes to the Super Bowl. Things tend to go wrong for one team here. And I don't want to bet it under. All right, it's that simple. It's not a large bet. I don't want to bet it under. I just don't. All right, it's not. If the game goes 17-13, trust me, that's not the bet that's going to kill me as far as my day. If the game goes 17-13, not worried about the game going under. I just want it over.
Joe, Seattle's sixth best defense in the NFL, 285.6 yards per game, and league low 17.2 points per game. New England, eighth best defense, allowing 295.2 yards per game, and 18.8 points per game, which is the fourth best in the NFL. I feel like we're just beating people down with unders on this show the last hour and a half.
So, Craig, what's 18 plus 17? Sounds like under. Like I hate to rain on George's parade here. I think when you factor in that, first quarter, that's typically less than thrilling most of the time in Super Bowls, where these teams are just kind of settling in and settling down. I just feel like it's going to be a little bit more of that, and I think you're going to get a game that's why, to me, that defensive score, whatever team gets that defense or special team score, that's going to be the linchpin, the difference maker in this football game to me, because that's something that no one's accounting for in these stats. And I think because these stats are playing so close to the vest here, it's that one anomaly, that one breakout play, that one moment there where you get the turnover and a score, or that big kick return and a score, or punt return and a score. To me, that's the difference between these two teams today.
Let's look at the offenses here real quick before we break, and then we'll come back and give you our final scores of the game. Seattle's offense, 28.4 points per game this season, which is third in the NFL, 351.4 yards per game, seventh in the NFL, 228.1 passing yards per game. That's eighth in the NFL. And generally speaking, George, when you get to the Super Bowl, in this day and age of the Super Bowl, meaning the last 10 years, not the last 40 years, you would expect that the team that got to the Super Bowl would have a top 5 passing offense. And the Seattle Seahawks do not have that. They've done that on the strength of the running game with those two guys, one of who is hurt, of course, in Zach Charbonnet. But it just goes to show you the variance of some of the games that Darnold has had this year. He's had some fantastic games. He's also had some duds.
It's also why Seattle, probably scares me. And I don't mean that in a good way, by the way, because I do think the New England defense is going to keep Kenneth Walker in check. Darnold's going to have to do some things. And like I said, he was very good against the Rams. Not good in other games. I can't tell you that, I feel confident, Donald. I do not. I feel confident, Donald. So I don't have a lot of money on the game itself here. I think Seattle's the better overall team. I don't think I'm really breaking news there. They are the better overall team. But if Sam Darnold is pooping the bed today, they're not winning the game. It's that simple. New England's going to keep Kenneth Walker in check. I'm not saying he can't break one, right? It happens. But that New England rush defense is really, really good. I don't think it's a product of their schedule or anything else. I think it's a really good defense, especially since they've been healthy. I think it's really a key to this. It's why I can't say this enough. I like Kenneth Walker's reception. I think that reception props, because I think that's how he's going to have to get some of his yardage here, or how they're going to get him into the game, get him loose, get him one-on-ones, get him the ball on the flat, over the middle, stuff like that here. So we'll see how it's going to go. But yeah, Sam Darnold is a big worry for me.
Joe, over to you here with the Seattle offense. It's great that you brought that to the table today, because if you would have asked me, I would have thought Seattle was top 5.
Yeah, you know who is top 5? The Patriots at number 4. Just want to point that out. So if you look at their total passing yards per game, 250.5 is their average. Now it's 4th. Now look, they did pad that a little bit in a couple big blowout games. But as you said before, differential matters, right, in these games. So New England offense, I think a little bit more explosive. I think everyone's also putting too much stock into what they saw in the last 2 games against the 2 best defenses in the NFL. Seattle is not Houston. Seattle is certainly not Denver.
All right, coming up next, it's the moment none of you have been waiting for. Our predictions on the game. Don't go away.
Heads or tails? Over or under? Seahawks, Patriots. Don't stress. SportsGrid breaks it all down.
They are locks. We can capitalize. We're going to see a ton of over money.
Props, expert guests, and smart insight leading up to the big game.
Oh my God, if Sam Darnold wins the Super Bowl.
Only on SportsGrid.
They actually play Miami and nobody else. Bum after bum after bum. Now, the key ingredient to this clause, though, Joe, college football undefeated season. Ooh, no, wait, Donnie. You're undefeated in the regular season. You got to win like 4 games to win that championship. No, you don't. It's regular season. Notre Dame, the kings of duck, and saying, hey, we're going to play the easiest schedule ever. They got it.
The early line. Only on SportsGrid.
The money line keeps climbing, though, if you'll notice.
Yes.
The point spread hasn't moved. It's been locked in at 4.5. The money line, though, keeps creeping up, man. It was 210, and it's funny because normally you figure the number would be correlated, right? It's like, all right, the money line, the point spread's this, that means the money line is that, which tells us there's a lot of money line plays coming in on.
In-game live, only on SportsGrid.
He completed a pool bank shot at just 2 years and 302 days. His achievements make him one of the youngest double record holders ever. So let me summarize this for you without reading. He's 2 years old, and he's really good at pool. I mean, that is crazy. 2 years old! How is he doing this? I have no idea. So I guess we got to start training our youngsters to play pool. Okay, fair enough.
Newswire, only on SportsGrid.
Welcome back to Fantasy Sports Today here on SportsGrid. It is time now for the moment, as I said, that none of you have really wanted, but we're going to give it to you anyway. Everybody makes their Super Bowl predictions and gives out a score. I made it somehow through this network a full week without doing that. But I'm going to get to do it right here on the show. But before you, we're going to do mine? Okay, Sam's throwing mine up there. So I'll do mine first, and then we'll go to Joe, and then we'll go to George. We'll go in order of the way the faces appear on the screen. All right, so there it is, 22-16. I do have 5 Super Bowl boxes, a couple with some good numbers. I feel like I got a shot on the boxes this year. We'll see. But I think that this game is going to be led by New England early in the game. I do. I think New England is going to have the lead. I think we're all going to feel like we're in for a action-packed Super Bowl. Then I think things will normalize a little bit. I do like my favorite prop of all is the one that I can't explain in professional sports this season. How did it happen within a year, maybe 2, that every kicker in the NFL has a turbo leg that can kick 70-yard field goals? We don't even discuss this. Is it the ball? Is it the leg? I don't get it. We went the whole year. No one talks about it. But everybody is kicking long field goals. I got Seattle winning 22-16. I got the over on the longest field goal in the game of over 49.5. That is like a 90% hit rate in the NFL this season. So those are my 2 going into the big game on Sunday. Joe, I'll go over to you.
Players win games, coaches win championships. Just ask Marv Levy and his run going up against Bill Parcells and Joe Gibbs and Jimmy Johnson, or even ask a great coach like Sean McVay against a guy named Bill Belichick, how that worked out with his high-flying offense when he ended up scoring just 3 points in that game as the Rams, right? So to me, the best coach in this game is Mike Vrabel, also the most experienced coach and coaching staff. Josh McDaniels has coached in a ton of these, almost double digits now. Mike Vrabel's played in these games. He is now coached in this game as well. And I think that when you're talking about experience in the Super Bowl, I think it matters. I think how you prepare for these 2 weeks matters. I think getting the focus of everybody matters. And I think that all of that is also another piece of this puzzle that isn't discussed enough. I think Seattle's a very good team. And this is not a homerism thing, man. I picked the New England Patriots to lose the Super Bowl against the Eagles the last time. I picked the New England Patriots to lose against the Giants the second time. And I made money on those things. And I'm just telling you right now, I don't think this Patriots team knows how to lose. And I don't think they're going to. They're going to find a way to win. And I do think it's a defensive score that gives us a 24-20 game here. I think it puts them ahead. I think there will be a moment at the end of the fourth quarter where Seattle will have a chance here driving with the football, but they will come up short, and that Mike Vrabel defense will hold the line here. And to me, it's a 24-20 New England Patriots win, and I'm sure I am in the minority in this trio here in terms of picking the Patriots.
Indeed,
George, that
you
would be
was.
you
I
next.
already mentioned that I'm on the Seahawks there. You know, when we make these things, it's always when I make the score, all right, I got to make sure I said the over, so I got to do the math here, 27-24. Okay, got to make sure I got everything right here. I'm on 27-20 on the Hawks here. I'm still trying to figure out how Craig gets to 22, by the way. That's going to screw up a lot of boxes, a 2 and a 6, by the way. So that would make things – first thing I think of, okay, he's got a weird number in there, you know, because I'm not in 5. I think I'm in 4 boxes here. I got so many things going on here with fantasy leagues. So be funny. I'm going to give, a more predictable score, 7-0, 27-20. I'm going to go with the O. There'll be a mistake there. I'm hoping it's going to be a little bit more fun than maybe what I expect here. Although Joe picked 24-20, which is not that far from me, so we think it'll be a little bit more fun. You know, we'll see. I think it's going to come down to, I think there is something to be said for New England's coaching staff, that they have the experience there. I do, but then again, the players don't. All right, so I think that's also where it comes down to. I did love hearing Vrabel yesterday, or maybe on Thursday, where he had the players go into the locker room for 14 minutes, and he's blasting Bad Bunny for 14 minutes, so they can get used to that, because the halftime show is Bad Bunny. But the halftime show is about 28 minutes there, Mike. You might have wanted to extend it a little bit if you really want to get him used to that. And no, I will not be listening or watching or Bad Bunny. I will put on the Puppy Super Bowl or whatever the hell else is on there. I'm not watching that. 27-20 Seattle. To me, it just comes down to the end. I think Seattle is the better overall team. But I'll tell you right now, all I care about, props. That's first one. I want to win my money, and I want to be entertained. I'd like to see a good game.
Okay. First, let's do. Let me move over here. Get back in frame. What was Matt Stryker's prediction, Sam? You want to throw that up? He has Seattle 27 and New England 23. All right, so there you go. So the one other thing that we have going on here, for those of you, again, you have no interest in this, but for us, it is. The three of us are all playing in the same Survivor Fantasy League, and I just pulled up the numbers here. And right now, George is winning this league. George, you should be most concerned with this. You have a chance to win some money here today in the Survivor League. You're number 1. Joe is number 2. So I look, this thing, by the way, goes sideways a lot. I've played in this before, that the 7th place team sometimes wins because of a player that you can't predict. But you guys could potentially be taking home 1 and 2 today.
I'm looking for George to crap the bed at the end of this one. This is what I'm looking to choke here. He has the lead. Look, I had the lead, and I gave it up to George after the AFC Championship round, but I'm looking for George here to make a couple bad decisions. I don't know what his roster looks like. I haven't looked at it, but who his remaining players are.
I don't think you can. Oh, yeah, you can do
so,
it.
I guess we'll find out. I think you can today, but George, good luck. I'm not rooting for you. I just want you to know.
Yeah.
I hate that, by the way. It's like a poker tournament when somebody you're all in with somebody. Oh, good luck. I hope you can defeat me. You know what? I'm not wishing you good luck, bro. I'm not. All right.
And by the way, Sam, you're 1 player short. I'm just looked here. You didn't put your. I don't know. You're missed. Oh my gosh,
he's
you're out. Wow.
So he's out of positions there.
Yeah. So Sam's not going to win.
Joe said he's hoping I make some bad decisions. Joe, I have no decisions to make. It's whoever's left. All right, there's nothing to do here. The only decision I made, I was serious early in the show, was Darnold or May. Darnold, May. That's the only really decision I had. Everything else is who's ever the best star that's left there. So, and by the way, to let you know, give you a little hint here. It was Darnold earlier in the week. Last night I switched it to May. I think I'm going to stay with that, but I'm not completely sure. I think since I have a 21-point lead, I want the player I know is going to give me some points.
You got a big shot. I mean, look, we're all sort of alive. Sam, unfortunately, our producer, he's in 9th. He's not alive. I know, but you're really far at the bottom. Our other producer, Frank, he told me 2 weeks ago it was too cold to set the lineup. He forgot.
He's an 8th.
Heads or tails? Over or under? Seahawks, Patriots. Don't stress. SportsGrid breaks it all down.
They are locks. We can capitalize. We're going to see a ton of over money.
Props, expert guests, and smart insight leading up to the big game.
Oh my God, if Sam Darnold wins the Super Bowl.
Only on SportsGrid.
They actually play Miami and nobody else. Bum after bum after bum. Now, the key ingredient to this clause, though, Joe, college football undefeated season. Ooh, no, wait, Donnie. You go undefeated in the regular season, you got to win like 4 games to win that championship. No, you don't. It's regular season. Notre Dame, the kings of duck, and saying, hey, we're going to play the easiest schedule ever. They got it.
The early line. Only on SportsGrid.
The money line keeps climbing, though, if you'll notice.
Yes.
The point spread hasn't moved. It's been locked in at 4.5. The money line, though, keeps creeping up, man. It was 210, and it's funny because normally you figure the number would be correlated, right? It's like, all right, the money line, the point spread's this, that means the money line is that, which tells us there's a lot of money line plays coming in on Seattle.
In-game live, only on SportsGrid.
He completed a pool bank shot at just 2 years and 302 days. His achievements make him one of the youngest double record holders ever. So let me summarize this for you without reading. He's 2 years old, and he's really good at pool. I mean, that is crazy. 2 years old! How is he doing this? I have no idea. So I guess we got to start training our youngsters to play pool. Okay, fair enough.
Newswire, only on SportsGrid.
All right, welcome back, Fantasy Sports Today here on SportsGrid. Another Super Bowl Sunday of us doing Fantasy Sports Today here on Super Bowl Sunday. Been a lot of fun. We got a few minutes to go here on the show. And don't forget some great programming later in the day. I know Dan Cilio is going to be on the air live for a couple hours here today with Outspoken and also in-game live. I know Blewett's in the house. And all of our crew basically runs Super Bowl Sunday here. So, gentlemen, look, I have a lot of great memories watching the Super Bowl, going back to, I'm going to say 1980, I think was probably the first like real Super Bowl that I remember watching. And it's different for Joe this year than it is for us because I could care less who wins or loses. I just want to make sure that we're going into the second half with a game. I believe we didn't have that last year. We didn't have a second half of the Super Bowl. So that's what I root for. In terms of food and stuff like that, I'm kind of a last-minute person here. I keep it really simple. Not really sure what we have on deck today. I have a full day ahead of me, even after this, by the way, before the Super Bowl today. But, Joe, for you, a little bit more special when your favorite team is playing in it. I get it. And I know that you'll be rooting for the Patriots today. But me and George probably rooting for winning bets and a close game. I would.
Look, I'm rooting for my winning bet. Look, this is business, not personal. Okay, my personal stuff's aside. I like the 4.5 here, the plus 4.5 for the Patriots. I think that's a really solid bet because I think the Patriots show you they have a lot of pride and they will keep this game close. To me, that's the easiest bet to make in this game. And then if you want to have some fun, there's the Pats on the money line at 2-1. Why not? Why not? The Patriots in close games have been very good this year. And I just don't think Seattle's been tested outside of the 2 games against the Rams this year that they played. And then the game in the playoffs that they really got tested there too. And there were some undisciplined moments in that game too that make me wonder a little bit about Seattle. You know, that Tariq Woolen penalty and some of those moments. One thing about the Pats too is they're a very disciplined team. And not every team is like that. And I'm also in the under. You even saw it my score here. I'm just getting it by the hair of my chinny chin chin, 24-20. But 45.5, I think the under for this game plays because of the way these two defenses match up there. So, George, any final thoughts here on the game and in terms of the big board here, what you like and what you don't?
Yeah, I think Craig said his first Super Bowl was 1980. The first Super Bowl I can remember watching was a couple of years before that, which would be the second Dallas-Pittsburgh Super Bowl. Jackie Smith, oh, dear God, he dropped the ball. That game. It's also why I'm a Cowboy fan. My family was having a Super Bowl party, even though my father was not a football fan, told me to pick a side here. And listen, I like the star on the helmet. What can I tell you? I like the colors. All right, so I became a Cowboy fan. Been regretting that for the past 30 years, by the way, as they're never going to a Super Bowl ever again here. Like Craig said, obviously we want to win our money, right? That's why we're here for. So that's probably the most important thing for me tonight. But I want to be entertained. You know, listen, we have a lot of Patriot fans at the network. Joe, Matt, Adam. Really hope you guys do well, but we got a Seattle fan as well and Cam. So I don't want to see anybody upset. I know how it feels to lose. It sucks. Joe really doesn't know how it feels to lose. The rest of us.
That's not true. I'm a Mets fan. I know a lot of loss in my life. Don't even
start.
Don't even start pinstripe vibes. Don't even start with me.
By the way, my favorite bet tonight is a fun bet, a doink. 8-1 for a doink. Doesn't matter if it goes good or not here. Doink. Give me the pole here or the crossbar. Give me a doink at 8-1 here. Love that bet. Just for fun.
Does a doink have to be in the game itself?
I believe so.
Okay.
Yeah. What are you doing during practice?
No, I mean at your house or something. You can have a doink.
So it's over your head, George. It's over your head.
Is there
guys good today?
We made it 2 hours, Mish.
Listen,
2 hours.
Well, you were sort of good. You did throw a couple things. Did you? Is there a channel that still exists? I mean, Joe, you probably remember this too. Don't you guys remember waking up Sunday morning and Super Bowl I is on, and then it's on a channel, and then all the Super Bowls air right before the game? Is that done? Does that exist anymore?
I don't know. NFL Network.
Is there ESPN Classic?
Thing, I think last night, but it wasn't Super Bowl. It was just greatest games. I looked for Cowboys. They didn't have any Cowboy games.
Is there still an ESPN Classic out there? Is there?
I don't think so. I don't think there is, but NFL Network the other day was showing a bunch of these Super Bowls. They didn't go all the way back from one, but I don't know if they started that yesterday.
Remember that though? That was fun, right? Back in the day, waking up
here. How do you think we all ended up doing this job? We were the kids that came home and used to watch the NFL film stuff on ESPN Classic. I mean, that's it. That's it. That's how you end up at SportsGrid. I'm pretty sure that's the pathway.
I bribed some people. I don't know about you. That's how I got it.
I blackmailed.
I made it on merit.
All right, are we done? How much time left, Sam? 20 seconds.
I think we got 20 seconds.
Again,
so send us out.
Thanks again to Matt Stryker for his participation. Thanks to George Kurtz, Joe Pisapia, and thanks to our producer Sam Yarnell. I'm Craig Mish. Enjoy the Super Bowl, guys. Completed a pool bank shot at just 2 years and 302 days. His achievements make him one of the youngest double record holders ever. So let me summarize this for you without reading. He's 2 years old, and he's really good at pool. I mean, that is crazy. 2 years old! How is he doing this? I have no idea. So I guess we got to start training our youngsters to play pool. Okay, fair enough.
Newswire, only on SportsGrid.
How about selling it to a minority ownership group that could show the NFL is moving in the right direction? Hey, it's one thing to talk about black coaches in the National Football League. It's one thing to talk about black general managers. It's another thing to start talking about a minority owner owning the football team.
Outspoken with Dan Cilio, only on SportsGrid.
Gosh, I really do like the storylines with these open field events. Like I want us to expand these signature events to bigger fields because I really do like the Joel Damon story, the Andrew Putnam story. It's part of the PGA Tour and what makes it so good. So I don't know where they're going to eventually end up on all of this.
The Smiley Show, only on SportsGrid.
They cheated.
No, they're not saying that. Well, they're not, but they're not really giving a reason on Kraft.
The only two of the voters I've seen, maybe it's more, came out and said why they didn't vote for him. And they said, I'm limited to 3 votes.
Yeah.
And I will always pick a player over a coach or an owner.
Right.
By the way, I appreciate that.
Yeah.
Because that's the guy saying, I'm not afraid of you knowing who I picked. I'm going to tell you why I picked him.
The Craig Carton Show, only on Sports.